Oh, g'day. I was just sitting there having to think about a few things to do with acupuncture and life and all that goes with it. So things that we learned over life. See, first of all, I was going to put up a press release into the social media networks on Monday. Today's Thursday. And on Monday, that's where you guys going to put out a press release, but I didn't get time to, I didn't get a chance to sit down and write it. Well, we always get a chance to have time, but I'm doing other things. So anyway, what I was going to say, well, I won't tell you that. I won't tell you that now. I'll tell you in a bit, because the better place to start. I was going to put out a press release on Monday, and like a typed, written thing, right? Anyway, on the Monday, I ended up calling Chem Chin's phone number, which was in my phone, and I hadn't seen him since 2014, and he was my acupuncturist since 2003, but I knew that he was the reason why there was a college of acupuncture, why you could study acupuncture at all in Australia, and then because of him and Young Man was the reason why you could do a degree in acupuncture. So I knew that right from the point of enrolment in 2003. So I was going to see both Young Man and Chem Chin every week, basically, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Chem never taught me in college because he'd retired from teaching. He was a professor, but he taught me a lot from 2003 to 2014. I'll be seeing him 3 times a week for most of that time. You know, I really invested in myself and invested in learning and having the understanding experience, just to talk about everything and learn from him. And he also did Chinese opera and ballroom dancing, but he didn't do qigong, he didn't meditate, didn't do any other practice, didn't do tai chi or anything, kung fu or nothing like that, and he slept 5.5 hours a night. A very relaxed, very laid back person. But he escaped in a boat from Vietnam, in the Vietnam conflict, and people were dying. They didn't see the sun for 6 weeks, below deck, hidden, and people were dying. And he was bringing them back from the dead in the dark with acupuncture. Using acupuncture needles and bringing them back from the dead, and then keeping them alive until they got here. And I knew that, and I learned some other things yesterday from his daughter about, and he told me some other stories, what was going on, and then how he managed to escape in the meantime. And then I learned some more from his daughter Denise yesterday, that to show me, you know, just how strong the man's spirit was as a living human being. And I say was because I finally brought myself to the point of being able to pick up the phone and go and call my old master and teacher and friend and doctor and go back to see him, just to see him, because kind of somewhat fallen, you see, somewhat fallen from the success or the splendour or the grace, you see. Like sometimes it's all just economic, but you know, we can really lose ourselves when we have things like fires that cost us a few $100,000 and only burn for 10 minutes, but they cost like a few $100,000, and that can really be a kick in the proverbial, so to speak. You know, a few things like that happen, and it can really set you back in life, you know what I mean? And we can lose ourselves, and we never lose ourselves fully, hopefully. Well, if you keep your sense of humour, then you never lose yourself fully. But, you know, we all lose ourselves in some way, and we kind of got to lose ourselves a lot, you know, And then we come back to ourselves. So finally bring that point where I'm able to pick up the phone and make this phone call and just go there as this broken, not the wonderful person I'd like to think I am, but I've been studying this really unique and comprehensive performance art training from these people, John Nobbs and Jackie Carroll, absolute geniuses, both of them, bona fide geniuses, and they've really helped me over the last 18 months to come back to myself, basically, and to embrace myself in all the ways that I wasn't. And the only other person who's taught me anything like that, to be like that, was this man Chem Chin. And I say was because it turns out that he passed away in 2018. And today is what, the 25th of February or something like that, 2025. So interestingly, there's not a grief response. There's just like, oh, right, wow. It hits you. I mean, it hits you, but it's like, it's not like spend the next month in grief for him, see, because it's a little bit, I missed him by that much, is what Denise said. And there's something there, about you don't know when you're going to go. He was taken suddenly. He was very healthy. And spiritually, he's an enlightened person, fully self-realized, enlightened person, really, like he was. He was the embodiment of enlightenment and grace. And living the knowledge, like the spirit was living the knowledge, you see. So he was a very healthy, beautiful expression of God and child of God. And we all got to die of something. And we all got to die sometime, and it's better. It's a bit like a band calls it quits and retires or separates and ceases to be that band, ceasing to release that music when they're at their top. Okay, so there's no decline. You see what I mean? That's the way to go. And like Soundgarden, that was, I remember that from Soundgarden, when Soundgarden decided to call it quits, and that's what the critics were saying. It's better like that they do this, you see, because they're at the top of their game and they're in their prime, and there's no chance for them to decline when they get old or anything like that. And they're all good friends and everything like that, but they just decide, like, creatively, this thing that we were doing has come to a point where we're going to let that be now. We're not going to push it, you see, because the creativity flows, and we're not going to push it. And so from that point onwards there, you see, Soundgarden stays at the top. Like, that's when they split, you see. And that's the way you want to go. Otherwise, you want to be like a band like Jane's Addiction, where they fade out and they're still around, but you might see them touring, and if you do have the opportunity to see them tour, and then they're going to be just as good as what they were in 1991. Better, like they got that same vibe of them together. Same as Faith No More. Are they together or are they not? What's going on there? You see, but you see, that's how I'm going to be. You see, like I'd say no one's going to know if I'm dead for at least 150 years, and that'll be a good death either way. However I die, it'll be a good death, right? I'm going to make sure of that. Don't you worry about that. So to limit the shock that can go through the planet when I'm gone. It's better that nobody knows whether I'm dead or not for at least 150 years, and I just have to come to the conclusion that I'm most probably dead by now, and that's good enough. That's the best you can hope for, really. And that's basically what's happened here with Chem, with me, you see. So it's got that same kind of effect going on. So I'm not lost in the grief, and I'm available, and I'm open to feel the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience and the understanding. The understanding permeates and is still there. It's like you're still around, you see. And Denise said that too. She said, like, it's still around. Now that's an interesting thing, you see, look, because I'd say the soul is gone, right? But the soul can from the other side send back thought form energy and knowledge and information and experience and feeling, and so you can feel the presence, right? I mean, you can feel someone's present who's gone, and they can be like on the other side, right? They've crossed over. They're not here anymore. It's not like they're haunting. It's not like they're a ghost that's stuck here. They're on the other side, and they're doing what they want to be doing. They're happy. They're all good, but they're able to project. Well, I don't know if there's any sound that goes with it, but they're able to project back the thought form energy, you see. And that is there. It's not so much the mind as the mind, the consciousness construct, so that it's an interface for each other. But it's actually the soul and the heart, your spirit, that bit that no one can explain. You know, that bit, that part of you. We're able to send back like a broadcast, right? So, like you can feel and you can receive and you can experience it. But there's only a latency that's a bit like watching a hologram TV or something like that, let's say. But, you know, the actual person is not there, but they might seem real. It's like when people go out in dimension and they sort of come back with their dreams now, and they say someone who died, 50 years ago is there in the room with them. And you're like, oh, right, okay, wow, how are they? That's really good to see them. And just to make that connection with them, because they are actually there, right? They've been able to send back an essence of themselves from their soul, which connected with the thought form that was in this life, and that connection, that interface, that they got this connection, understanding, right, with that individual person, that soul and that mind. And they're not actually there. They're over in heaven, but they've sent back a thought form. And that gives them comfort, gives people comfort when they're going through dementia. You've got to feel grateful for anyone who's going through dementia on their way out. Then they're letting go. They're practicing to let go, because they've been very stuck and strong in their mind. And this is how you get through the day. This is what you do. This is what happens when you don't write neatly, or you write left-handed and you get hit over the knuckles with a ruler. And then your hands hurt so much that you physically cannot hold the pen, so you have to use your right hand and learn how to write with your right hand. And then you're writing messy, so you're getting hit over the knuckles. These kinds of things. You're like 7 years old. That kind of stuff is enough to show how resilient, how strong people have to be to just get through the day. Particularly, we've got Catholic Church nuns running the school and stuff like that, you see. And the whole community's scared of them, so no one's going to stand up to the nuns. And the kids being bullied and all this kind of stuff, like all the institutionalised power that goes with it. That's just one example, right, which I'm thinking of just a few specific people that I know personally, that's kind of a background in my lineage, you see. And you see the effect that it has, and it's like, I just need to do this, and then do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. And then when that starts to, that rigidity, that strength, it's got the strength of a damn wall, like a wall of a dam. And it's got that integrity, but it's got to disassociate so that one can let go. So that's when someone's going through dementia, then that's a big thing, like you've got to feel grateful for them doing that. Because otherwise the final breath and that letting go could potentially be a more traumatic experience. All we're doing with this life is training for the moment of death, when we let go, when we breathe out for that last time. Because every breath is a letting go. So you breathe in, and when you breathe out, you let go. Right? You let go. That's what happens. You let go. Okay? So that's what happens when you die. You breathe in, and then you breathe out that last time, and you let go. You don't breathe in again. Right? That's what that's about. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. You can make whatever you want out of that and anything else, but when it comes down to it, that's all there is to it, right? That's all there is to it. And the other thing, you don't know when that's going to happen. When's your last breath going to occur? When's your last exhalation going to occur? And you're not going to breathe in again. Okay? That's one. When's that going to occur? Right? Now, I just dropped over a bottle. Luckily, that was empty. And have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, big pal. So I'm just thinking about what was said to me yesterday. So let me just recap, because there's just a bit of a digression there. So I finally brought myself to call my old master, my teacher and professor and doctor and friend. And I was 7 years too late. He's passed away. 2018. I haven't seen him since 2014. So that hits me in all kinds of ways. Now there's a couple of other old men that I have not seen for a while, for a long time, and haven't been able to go and do what I want to do with them. And it's just because I'm not the success that I want to be right now financially. That's what's getting me down, really. But I've got to go and see them. Sometimes life, it just wears you down. Sometimes it just gets you. Sometimes it just puts you down on your ass, and then you try and get off your ass and you end up on your knees, and you try and get off your knees, you end up on your face, and then you're dragged along behind the truck. And the best you can do is just keep your face off the ground while you do so, and then just get a gravel rash down your chest and switch over. Once it gets too much, switch over onto your back and then your ass, and then finally on your legs, and then wait for the run out of fuel, and then something always happens, so the chain will break, or the rope they'll be using rope and it'll be made of nylon and get hot and it'll come off. Whatever happens, you see, like something always gets you through, you see. As long as you just keep on keeping on, that's all you can do. Just keep on keeping on. And the thing that goes with it now is, so I went to see Denise. I just said, look, I want to see you. I want to come and do some work with you. Like I've been missing this stuff. I realised I've forgotten all this knowledge, and I've got a gift with this stuff, and I've forgotten. So that's really concerning. So I'd love to come back and spend some time with you. I can dress nicely and cut my hair and pretend to be a normal person and put shoes on and like button my shirt up and stuff and just keep my mouth shut. And I'd love to just see what you're doing and just have access to see what we do in this Chinese medicine when we're doing this clinical experience kind of stuff is you got access to these people that come in and they say all this stuff and you write it all down, and then you can just have an anonymous case study as well. So you can. And I do a lot of this, you see, because of the drug rehab and community acupuncture and people living on the streets, and there's all the reasons why they are in the situation. They don't want their names written down and stuff like that, and they don't have a fixed address and all this kind of stuff. So we can do this particular type of thing where you just look at their tongue and their face and their eyes, and you feel their pulse, and then in the meantime you're going to observe their breathing and odour, if there's any odour, and that in itself is more than enough to be able to treat any person. All the information's right there, and sound of their voice, the breath that goes in the voice, the smell of the breath, the look in the eyes, the complexion of the skin, all of it, the hair. You're feeling someone's pulse in their wrist, so chances are you're probably going to see the skin on their hand and their nails. You feel their life force chi. But I can see anyone's tongue. I can tell anything from anyone's tongue. And what goes with the tongue is the face. You can't help but sort of look at the face while you're looking at the tongue. Yeah? Right? So, anyway, I had I was saying that to Denise, and she's like, oh yeah, well, good. What's your phone number? And so I gave her my phone number. I said, why don't I just come and see you? I just got to push. I got to see you. I'm just going to come and see you. I'm going to come and see you. So I booked myself in for a consult, and I'm very grateful. I ended up getting this consult for free. She gave it to me as a gift. So there's a gift to you. That's from Chem, and it really actually was Chem. It was from Chem, because she looks exactly like him, and she's saying he's still around, and she's certainly channeling something. I can feel it even today, and it was actually the power of the needling, ladies and gentlemen. If you want proper acupuncture needling, get down and see Denise Chen from Acupuncture Clinic. It's in Anderson Street in Fortitude Valley, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. It's worth travelling from overseas for, because the needling technique, it was actually like I sat there afterwards before I drove away and just thinking, And I remember reversing the car out and then taking off into the traffic and going, that was like me receiving acupuncture from Jim. Like, he passed it on. Like, whatever essence and strength and energy that might have been there, instead of letting it dissipate, it's like he's channeled it through her. And she's practiced. I mean, like, she's got all the awards and all the, like, you got her and her husband, Nathan, like, you don't get one person getting all those awards. And I think they went through one year after another. So she got all the awards one year and he got all the awards the other year. And then they end up getting married. Like, you don't get one person getting all of the awards for Australia and Southern China for the best acupuncturist and the best, like, getting everything right. So they are really a cut above the rest of the treasure of Chinese medicine. And so, like, Denise is asking me in the consultation, how can I help? And I'm sort of going, well, I'm feeling pretty good, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually just coming here to see you. But, you can always, the thing with acupuncture is you can always recharge the batteries. You can always clear some phlegm or some damp or some stagnation. You can always build some yang and also always replenish some yin. You always move some qi, right? You always harmonise. You always tonify the heart. You can always free the spirit. Allow the spirit to move and harmonise, because we're a system that's always going, right? So I've said a few different things, and then she had to go to the room and help someone else, and then come back in, and I said, look, I want to just do a yin wei mai, and I was real clear about that. It's a yin wei mai, so that's a one needle. So put that like in the, I was saying lung 9 on my left wrist, and then kidney 6 on my right foot, which is the backwards way around, you see. So like, that's a fair bit in that, and it'll take about 4 hours to explain why that's relevant. And so she just looked at me, yeah. We had a bit of a chat, and then so she was going to do that, but she had something else in her mind too. And then so she didn't say nothing. She was just like looking at me, and then like feeling my pulse, and then looking at my tongue, and putting the alcohol swabs on different points in the body, which, by the way, I was very dirty. I was meant to hose myself down before I went in there, but I got carried away with someone. Anyway, so anyway, when then I said, all right, okay, so if there's one thing, right, and this is the thing that I was going to write in a press release on Monday, and I was going to put this out, and it's not really something that I have an issue with, right, but it's like I'll put it out there because it's like, it's a men's issue, and it's just there enough for me. Like, I clear this every couple of months, and I sort of go, and then it takes me like 3 or 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6 months, and it starts to come back, and it's just sitting in this residual thing there again. So I'll have to go through the specific clearing, fasting, meditation process, and with specific exercises, right, to clear it again, right? So I mean, lifestyle choice, could change lifestyle. And this is one thing that can do it, and then just life, modern life, right? Coffee's got a big thing to do with it. So anyway, what I was going to write as a press release out on social media was, sometimes I can't withhold my ejaculation, right? So that was going to be the first line. And then it'd be something like, so I always want to be able to have that choice whether to ejaculate or not. Okay, and then so to not have the ability to control it. I mean, sometimes you just want to let it go and you just want to release, right? And that's what your lady friend wants. And like that's what we are. Okay, but as human beings, we're a bit more like dolphins, where we engage in sexual relations for other reasons other than procreation. And a bit like monkeys, but a bit more like dolphins and monkeys, I like to think anyway. However, dolphins can enact some terrible things too. Like they can engage in group gang violations and of female dolphins, and I don't know how they do that, but that's, I don't really want to know how to do that either. But don't fob that off, you see. So the curiosity and the inquisitive, you know. Here comes Ish, he just wants to say hello. Here you go, mate. He's here trying to tell me something. Trying to tell me that his dad's gone to sleep, and so he managed to go and steal some of the food that his dad's got buried up against the gate underneath the blue metal. Is that right? I reckon that's probably what it is. I reckon he's saying, look, I just went and pinched that big chunk. So here's a good dog in there. He's a good dog. He's a therapy dog for soldiers. By the time you earn this dog's respect, he will have earned your respect a number of times. They had 9 police officers bailed up the other day. They tried to corner me. And apparently looking for graffiti. I don't think they sent 3 cars looking for graffiti. Anyway, 4 dachshunds. Because I had control of the other dogs, they're all good. There was a bit of mayhem with the 4 dachshunds, and I got control of 2 of them, so still just the other 2. That they had them all bailed up. They had them pinned down. They couldn't move. Every single time that we got it quiet, then they took a step, then bang, on again. So, therapy dogs for soldiers. That's what I do. Anyway, so what I was saying, like the press release is just going to be something real simple to go like. Sometimes I cannot withhold my ejaculation. So what's with that? Most of the time I can, and let's say 5% of the time I can't. And that's maybe getting 5 to 10% of the time I can't now, right? So that's starting to get a bit of an issue, you see what I'm saying? And so, well, let's say 5 to 10% of the time, then there's ejaculation occurs, right? Then 5% of that, well, that would be 50% of that 10%. There's it's up in the thresholds of there's this lack of control. The graph is wavering like that as far as the ability to control or not. Okay, right now that what that is about yin. Okay, so it's lacking in yin. Right, the muscles in the perineum are lacking in yin. The internal systems of the channels and the nerves, which are fundamentally yin because it's a conglomeration and accumulation, right? So it's yin of the yang. Okay, it's very yang, but it's the most yin of the yang, so to speak. So that is lacking the yin. Now, so I know that. And so then what I'm getting at, so fundamentally what's underneath there is that lack of tone and the lack of integration in life. And so it's phlegm. You get dampness that sits. Dampness blocks chi, right? And it blocks the flow of yin. It is yin, but it's sitting yin, so it's blocking the chi and blocking the flow, right? And then when it sits, it becomes phlegm. And then when you get so we all have phlegm. If we're alive, then we have some degree of phlegm, particularly if we're living stagnant lives in the first world. A byproduct of any drug is phlegm. It weakens the 3 yin, lung, spleen, kidney, and so it doesn't have the yang of those yin, so then it doesn't move the yin around, it doesn't transport and transform and condense the yin, so you get this dampness sit. And then you need more chi to bring the dampness, because the dampness in there, you need to bring it together so you can move it around, so it becomes turbid within the body, you see. Right? And then when that sits, then it'll turn to phlegm. When dampness sits, it turns to phlegm. Right? So it's a stagnation, it's phlegm. Now you have substantial phlegm and insubstantial phlegm. So when you get these issues that are sort of sitting there in the prostate with most men, because most men don't really have any control of ejaculation whatsoever, then there's basically a fundamental insubstantial yin from the time they first start ejaculating, and then from there onwards, right? Because they've been sitting on toilets to defecate for most of their lives instead of squatting, so they're just doomed. And then see, we don't in the West we don't really move properly from toddlers onwards. When we're toddlers, we move properly, but then from then onwards, we don't move properly at all, and it's a real shame. So if you want to move properly, sit in a flat-footed squat instead of a chair when you're having smoko, and don't ever sit on a toilet. Always a flat-footed squat. If you have to sit on a toilet, then you've got to get your chest on your knees. Okay, you get that let it go out, and don't ever push it out, okay? You can follow through and help it on its way to a nice complete follow through at the end, but don't ever push it out, okay? That's a secret of longevity, and eat to 3/4 full. And, every couple of months, stop eating until you stop defecating and see what comes out the other end, see how long it takes, and see how you feel. Secret. So, anyway, that's basically what I was going to say on that press release. So I thought, well, if I'm going to be vulnerable and be open and transparent, I'm going to get something out of this. And, this is actually a thing that has been sitting there with me, because I'm also feeling a bit of heat coming through in the urination. And there's also noticing there's just the last recent months, like, go and have a good passing of a stool, right? And then just out of nowhere, sometimes you quite often when I relax and quite often about to go somewhere or arrive somewhere, suddenly, so I've had to go and defecate in the bushes more times in the last 2 months than I've had to in the last 10 years. And so, I'm a bushman, right? So, and I've already had a good, smooth, full, complete passing that day. And then another one comes, it's like, you see, it can be urgent, you see. So I get these Aldi brand sensitive skin cleansing wipes. That's what I use to wipe down on my equipment and wipe my hands, stuff like that. And that's what I prefer to use to wipe my proverbial as well, rather than scratch with paper or leaves or grass. So first world livings, carry some of that in a Cliplock bag, and you can tear them in half, right? When you tear them in half, they got like a fold in them, and there's a seam in between that fold, and just straight down that seam, and you've got two nice, lovely, biodegradable wet cleansing wipes, and you only need one of them. You cut them, you tear them in half, and you only need one of them to get a nice, good, clean job, and then you got another one for next time. And so you can bury that while you're out in the bush, and it's very good. It's very good. Or you can put it into a snap block bag, or at very worst, you've got to get out there then a dog poo bag, which is a great thing to be carrying in your pocket, whether you've got dogs or not, anyway, because you get them for free from the council, and they're biodegradable, and pick up cane toads in them, and so they're a handy thing to have. So where am I at then? So that's right. So then I say to Denise, I get yin wei mai, right? I get yin wei mai, and so that's the lung 9 and kidney 6. So that's like opening up a big tunnel underneath the city for the traffic, and just like open it up in the peak time when there's congestion everywhere. Then there's a tunnel that's not being used, and it's like opening up, or it's like it's a tunnel that's got a boom gate on it. You got parking that's congested, and everyone's trying to get out of the parking after the cinema or after the performance is finished at the theatre, and everyone's getting in their cars, and everyone's at the boom gates, and so the boom gate keeps coming down and coming back, and it's called a stifling. So what a smart security guard would do is go, right, everyone, just open up the boom gates, just let everybody out, and that's kind of like that what they're doing. So if you open up the boom gates at both end of a tunnel, and then you just let it all flow, that's basically what the yin wei mai is. Okay, so it's a deeper yin one, and so then I noticed that Denise went for the other side, so she went for a heart 7, and I thought, that's an interesting choice and a good one. And then she needled through from the heart 7 to connect up to pericardium 6 and 7, which I thought was a very smart move. So that's in the middle of the wrist, right? So you're going from the outside of the wrist through underneath the muscle to the inside middle of the wrist to connect up these points, right? So that's the heart and pericardium. Now that's fire element of principal yin. As principal yin organs, right? Now the pericardium surrounds the heart. It's protective in case of the heart, but it's got this. It's got a great spirit heart thing going on with it. Okay, and it's fire element. And then you have San Jiao, which is the regulatory system, which is yang and fire. And it's a 3 yang system, right? So upper, middle, and lower. And it's a regulatory system. So yang that it doesn't have an organ housing point in the body. So if you're looking at Shan Jiao Shu, which is bladder 22, then that's in the back. Then that's the density. Basically, everyone's got that dense point there in their back. That's pretty much the most yin accumulation of the sun, jiao channel. Anyway, so we're talking about heart yin, and then small intestine. So you got the heart is a yin, small intestine is a yang. They're both a fire element, right? And so small intestine pairs with the heart, and there's channels that run in between. Then we've got the stomach divergent channel, which is a huge channel, a bit like that yin wei mai, right? And it also connects to the heart. So when you have phlegm, it blocks the portals of the heart. Okay, and then when there's absence of heat, then there's depression, sadness, solemn slumber, dyspnea, which is shortness of breath, fatigue, and sallow complexion, and poor muscle tone, this kind of stuff, and prolapses, and downward movement energy, right? And just blocking, stagnation. But when there's heat, then quite often you find in the West, you've got all those symptoms, all those ones that go down there, and then you've got the heat rise up. Anyone's on medication, they've got all puffy ankles and they're all swollen, and they've got massive emotional outbursts and stuff like that. Then that's what's going on. They're so overloaded with the phlegm that is produced because of the side effect of the medication that they're on. Then it makes them all puffy, and then that energy can only sit and then can only go downwards. It can't really go upwards. There's no energy rising up, it's just heavy down. Right? But then when there's this anger and emotion, because the spirit's stuck in there, it's emotional, then it rises up, it forces out, right? And then there's the mania. And then there's the aggressive expression. And he ascends to high places and sings, discards clothing and run around, childhood fright disorder, seeing ghosts, thrusting of tongues as if a snake. All this kind of madness disorder is all written about. It's written about for thousands of years. And that's treated there because it's you got to expel the fire, you got to sedate the fire, you got to let the fire move out, but you got to use that fire to churn over all that phlegm, right, like that, and you got to use the fire to churn it through and make the stagnant non-turbid, because it's just not moving at all, make it into turbid, right? So it's moving, and then clear it, expel it out, so it comes out through the eyes and the lacrimal glands, through the nose, and out through the saliva, out through the sweat, and out through the urine, out through the bowel, and out through the lymph nodes and skin, like in the feet and stuff like that, And so, anyway, bringing that back down to what I was saying, what Denise said. She went out of the room and deal with someone else again. And so I just settled. So she said she'll go, what we're going to do something is a bit of a yang build up, right? So build up the chi, build up the yang, tonify the yin, and move the stagnation and calm the nerves. And I'm thinking, what's the matter with my nerves? There's nothing wrong with my nerves. Well, you think I'm a bit nervy, do you? You think I'm a bit nervous? There's nothing wrong with nerves. Anyway, so that's a great idea, right? So then she goes, so she did the kidney 6 anyway, to open up that end of the yin wei mai. That's basically what's going to happen. And it was a water point in the kidney channel, so it's condensing, draw it in. And so then the heart 7, that really moved and opened, and I could feel, oh yeah, this is good. This is going to be good. And so every other needle did. Then she did stomach 40 on the left-hand side, and noticed all this stuff on the left-hand side. So this really turbid, moving the yin, dispelling, clearing, harmonizing, regulating, condensing, soothing, cooling, nourishing, and then moving that along nice and gentle with a gentle flow of consistency. You see, just like Tai Chi, yeah, because that's how the Chi moves through the body. It's how life moves through. It's how the earth moves through space. It's hurtling around, the sun's moving through. It might be hurtling around, the sun's moving through, right? So anyway, then we get to the point, so that's what I said to her. I said, look, there's that thing, like I have control over my body, but then sometimes when I'm getting into that particular point in the moment of excitement, like generally, most of the time that I have the ability to stop it going, see, so that's too tight, because you've got to squeeze the perineum muscles, right, but you've got to do it in the right way. You can't just, lost it, see? So, because the yang, you have the yin, bring it Yeah, that's even still too yang. You got to be more. See, it's too yang, because I'm injured and stuff. Yin, bring the yin. See, it's too yang. I can't. This is my problem, you see. So that's the phlegm disturbance going through the injury. I keep injuring my arm, and so it's that inflammation. Oh God! So I've got to stretch through that inflammation so it doesn't calcify and lock in my arm there. So now go see the. See, I've got a little bit more control. Not much, but still got that waver. I don't want my fingers to waver like that. That's better. Oh, and that hurt my arm at the end. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time. Just to get control of the body is basically what you want to be doing, the perineum. And see how I've got that again, so I'm trying. So you're going to be like... No wavering. That staggeredness is the bit that makes you lose control. See how I got that? There's a staggered shakiness in my fingers. That's the same as control of the muscle. What is blocking the chi is phlegm. Okay, it's heat, stagnation, phlegm, right? And it's the same. What I'm trying to demonstrate here, that what I've got there is here in my arm, it's in my elbow, right? It's right there on the outside. That's right there. That there is where the pain is, that is making me not be able to just do a simple thing when I slow my fingers down, see? Right? Now, I managed to get it like that. Now, I've got to have my arm straight to do it. That's what the issue is here, see? Because my arm's straight, it's making my fingers tremble like that, you see? So it's understraining, it's working with this range of motion the way it's meant to be working, with that control coming out. That is releasing my arm. Doing this is actually fixing my arm, but you see how there's that staggeredness, right? That staggeredness is a lack of control. It's a lack of yin holding. See how I can't stop my ring finger? And this actually I got, because I took the worst injury I've ever had in my hand a year ago, I'm still fixing my, oh God, that hurts. Try again. This is exactly what I'm trying to demonstrate about perineum. So without dropping my pants and showing you my perineum and doing the squeezing technique, as though snapping off a defecation, then this is the next best way to get it across to you, right? And now, see how there's that lack of control, bringing it together with no staggering. See how I can't do it, right? See how, that's because my arm's extended. Oh, God, it hurts. I should have told Denise. And I remembered afterwards when she left the room. See how I can do it there? My arm's bent, right? So it's a lot more rash, but still there. See it's a stag, and see there? I'm going to do it so gently and slow. See how they're still there, right? That is what I'm demonstrating, the lack of control in the perineum, and also the lack of gentle, natural tone within the prostate and those muscles that surround the prostate and make it, because basically pick up your pelvic floor, do an exercise now, breathe in, right? So I just lay back. So what I'll do, I'll stick my legs up, right? So my legs are up in the air and I'm up here. So everything's sitting here just up here. Now breathe in, now breathe out. Now breathe in, pick up your pelvic floor. Now breathe out. Now breathe in, pick up your pelvic floor, and then point your toes away. Now stretch up, look to Jesus. Now you see, just hold that. Breathe out, pick up your pelvic floor, and breathe in and out with your pelvic floor picked up. Then let go of the pelvic floor, breathe in and out, and then speak. Oh, splendor of sunburst breaking forth this day, whereon I may hold it. Then pick up your perineum and just hold it. Hold that. There you go. Lay my hands on Helen. Let it go. Breathe it in. Pick up pelvic floor. My wife. Send it to eternity. Hold the pelvic floor, right? And now breathe in again. Pick up the pelvic floor. Hold in the abdomen, right? Holding the abdomen down here. And yet it is not so much as men think. For the woman's sake I came to Troy. Pick up pelvic floor. Hold it in the abdomen. And then go, but against that guests prove treacherous, who like a robber carried the woman from my house. See, I'm still not able to get that yin softness, but that's a lot softer. I just got a lot more tone there from doing that, okay? So So you're just sitting on your sitting bones, your legs are up in the air, you've got to support your core, torso, and then do something like that and pick up the pelvic floor and then put speech or something like that so you distract yourself, but you can't let go of your pelvic floor because otherwise you fall over. And that's the way to do it without causing a herniation. Right? Now, the other thing is don't ever sit on a toilet. Right? You've got to have a flat-footed squat or go into specific horse-style stance, okay? Don't do it because you're just making your prostate and making the perineum muscles lose tone and work the wrong way. So then you've got no chance of being able to control. Because what literally occurs is the prostate becomes stimulated, but there's this control that comes over the top that constricts it so that it's not able to squirt out anything. Because if you've got it only constricted up and able to squirt out there from the top, and it squirts out, then that's enough, then you've lost control. You're only going to lose. There's no such thing as 100%. There's no such thing as 99% integrity, particularly when it comes to prostate. If you lose 1% of integrity with your prostate, with seminal vesicle, and vas deferens and all that, then it's coming through, right? It goes, once the prostate and the seminal vesicle is what controls it. And if you lose even just, see the light there, if you even lose just, see that, where's the light? See, we've got a light reflection, see? There, I'm trying to show you the light, right? If you can see the light come through, see light. No, you can't really see it there. Anyway, you see what eye comes through. You lose that control, you lost control of everything, okay? And that's how it is. Now my arm's in it. So I'm holding this pain down that side there, my back arm. I'm trying to show you that. It's hurting the back of my arm, see? So that's yin. It's yin. And it's inflammation, calcification, stopping the muscle contraction, holding the tone. Now you have that down in your perineum, then you don't have control over yourself, fellas, okay? Simple. Doesn't matter how much saw palmetto you have and how much you astringe the damp and go and see young man and get the good herbs and stuff, and you can resolve the phlegm and astringent and you can pick it up and have good sexual energy and yin and yang and feel like going out there and fornicating and all that. But if you don't have 100% control and you only got 99% control, then you're ejaculating, spurting out and losing and wasting your vital essence. The most principal yin substance in your body is being wasted. And if you're going to let it go, you let it go. It's like you let it go and you have the experience and you enjoy it. Like what you do if you have an ice cream. Because it's anti-food, right? It's cold, damp, and it's sugar. So, you don't have that. But if you do, then open the spleen, enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Enjoy it. The same as what you do if you're going to let the pressure off. Really enjoy it. Otherwise, enjoy having the control over yourself. So I prefer to have control. I prefer to have my faculties about me. I prefer to have control. Right? And that's why I do a lot of drug rehab work, is because I teach people, like, isn't it so much better to have control over yourself than to be out of control? So much more pleasant, fulfilling experience for yourself and everyone else in your life, And that's what we're doing in life. We're actually born so that we can have control of ourselves, letting go of ourselves. See, that's what it's all about. Anyway, so a big thank you to the Master Chem Trin, and may he rest in peace, and may his legacy live on in me and in his daughter and Nathan and everyone else he taught. Fantastic human being and young man. So go and see Denise Trin's acupuncture. It's ACUS. It's 29 Anderson Street, Fortitude Valley, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And then Jung Man, that's Jiang, and Man, Man. And she's in, I forgot the name of the street. It might be Harcourt Street, or it's in New Farms, up the back of Fortitude Valley. It's on the other side of Fortitude Valley, on the backside of Chinatown. And you can find her, just put the name in the directory. And yeah, she's the master too. She's the reason why they got a course guy around to offer a proper degree course back in the 80s there from Guangxi University. She's a head paediatrician in Guangxi University for 6 years before she met Peter Sherwood, and then they ended up working together, and she's bringing out the course guide from Guangxi University with internship in Guangxi Hospital for acupuncture. That's Jung Man. And so it's her and Chem Trin are the reason why there's acupuncture degree available to be offered in Australia at all. Treasures of Chinese Medicine and Denise Trin and Nathan Stella treasures, absolute treasures of Chinese medicine. So good to see him. And so the thing there, I don't remember if I put it in there or not, but the reason why I've gone on with this so much is because Denise said, like, you're bang on with what you're saying about there being that effect coming down from what you have said, because I had mentioned heart yin, you see, and if there's anything, it's my heart yin, you know, like sort of a bit effect. And she said, like, she said, like, so, like, everything's okay in life. I'm like, no, Denise, no, there's nothing that's okay in life. But yeah, you know, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah. And so that's enough. There she goes. So heart yin, heart blood. So anyway, then she goes, yeah, you nailed it, bang on, right? Because heart yin, heart, small intestine, right? And I go, yeah, fire element. Yeah, spirit. And she goes, yeah. And so I'm going, so there's a weakness of chi, but it's a yin deficiency. Yeah, it's a yin deficiency. It's a deficiency of yin, deficiency of chi, but deficiency of yin, right? And then so that affects the prostate, and because the linking internal channels, right? And it's the yin, and then it's even without it being damp. It's just the yin and damp and phlegm, right? Which I'm talking about the phlegm, right? Originally, so how do you do that? You abstain, and what I said, like flat-footed squat, pick up a perineum, breathe in and perineum, breathe out, release and breathe in, pick up perineum, and then it's this thing about how's the spirit doing, how's the mind doing, how do you feel in life? You know, how's the heartbreak, how's the disappointment, how's your passion, how's your hope, how's your faith, how's your fulfillment? You know, she's saying something about how do I sleep, and I go, well, you know, sleeping like this, I very rarely remember my dreams, but I know I'm very busy. But you know, more the point I've found these days is how is it that one wakes up? Because you can sleep like shit, but how do you wake up? You know, so I make sure I wake up really well. That's a really big point. And that then sets my chi, it sets my hun, it sets my spirit, it sets my corporeal soul into place where it needs to be for the day. Pieces of wood that need to be carved every morning. If we don't carve ourselves, then people, life, and events will do it for us. So that's where the spirit, the emotion is the most damaging thing to chi. Okay, so the emotions are what affects the spirit, affects the yin. The emotions wear us out. People don't sleep because they're thinking, they're worrying, they're using emotions, oh, there's this, and then I'll sleep and go like this is how life's going. Well, look at it with perspective being impartial, let go of the emotions, suddenly your chi's a lot better. Okay, so these kind of things, you know, and even with the most evolved perspective, then the heart wants what the heart wants, so we end up getting a bit heartbroken now and then, you know. Even if you don't fall in love, you stand in love and you're in love with everyone and everything, we still get heartbroken, we still get sad, we still feel grief, that's why we're human beings. And very few people are able to transmute it through art. And that's what my big thing is, making sure that I do transmute it through art. And if it wasn't for the dogs, I don't know where I'd be with all that, because they accept me in this transmutation process. And then John Knobs and Jackie Carroll accept me in the transmutation process, you see. And that's why I try to be out there putting all this stuff out there on the World Wide Web for you, just to show a real live demonstration of the transmutation process, and the best that I can, because you know, I thought it was just educational vision and stuff. But let's get real about it. You know, life's a bit tough. You know, life we've got its challenges. We've got challenges in life. We've got to work through them together, and they'll end alone. So the reason I'm putting this one out there is so that blokes might stop being so blokey, and they might get a little bit more vulnerable, and they might come in touch with themselves, and they might start having a flat-footed squat when they're taking a shit, and they might be satisfying their women a bit better, and the world will be a much better place just with that. But also eat healthy, eat your 3/4 full, and do some good exercise, and nourish the heart, and get acupuncture. Clear the channels, build the chi. Nourish your essence. Recharge the batteries every day at 80%. Don't let the batteries get down to 5% before you recharge them like we do with our phones. We think we're like phones. No, charge the batteries. Keep your batteries minimum 80%. Minimum 80%, and recharge them back to full. Right. Have that one for free. Cheerio.